he didn't. He was on a building shooting stuff. That's all he did.
And his tactics are different in that he would remember Age of Ultron.
He does what needs to be done rather than greater good.
Guns, I would have been like, go ahead, guy. You got magnificent aim. You got guns. Go.
And plus,
go for it.
Everybody forgets the real reason.
I have Legolas.
Cap. Hawkeye also was a huge asset in Age of Ultron because his tactics and his strategy also led him to have a safe house from Ultron when they were trying to recover after figuring out what to do. His skill set is a lot different, and I think that allows him to be a serious asset in certain ways.
Yeah,
and he also recruited the Sokovian twins, the Maximovs. He was the reason they joined.
And also, if we're still talking about Hawkeye here, Hawkeye's was the last good Marvel TV show.
Okay. One thing I have to say about Hawkeye, the animated Avengers thing, there was a vampire plot, and he was the one who was sent to protect some sort of lady who did vampire research, who was the wife in the movies. And they kind of have this thing in his head, the reason why they do the expendable unit or something like that, and Hawkeye does as Captain America. Is the reason why you sent me on this mission is because I was expendable and useless. And then Captain America says, you're the most resourceful guy I know. You can use anything as a weapon. I mean, like, even a baseball you can use as a weapon better than anyone else. I kind of buy that, but he did none of those in the movies. He did none of those in the movies. He was like, I was a guy with a bow and arrow. I'm a Legolas wannabe.
Also, to be fair, we needed Hawkeye there as a normal guy. Just be like, there's a fucking god, there's a billionaire, there's a super spy, there's a 100-year-old soldier.
Wait, a billionaire doesn't count as a normal guy?
No.
Imagine that. There's the billionaire, right? And then, like, the alien comes down. Well, do you know what? If you talk about, like, Elon Musk, it might be the same. The alien comes down, he's like, we are the same, right? So... you get Jeff Bezos sitting there with E.T. just having, like, tea.
We just need a normal guy to be like, I'm surrounded by all these, like, weird people. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow.
But, like, I think that also plays into the trope of Green Arrow, right, in Justice League, which I thought was a better role, right? Green Arrow is the one who keeps the Justice League honest. He even has a huge fight with Superman in the animated
He's a millionaire.
Oh, yeah, he was a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's not people.
So...
no, it's the Flash, then. The one that keeps everyone honest is the Flash, because he's the one that is friends with all his enemies.
I love the DC animated universe version of Flash.
Yeah.
Like where he goes to that bar and he sees like one of the villains like at the bar and he's like, dude, what are you doing here? Are you off your meds? She's like, it's not a bad thing. It's like, listen, check yourself into the hospital again and then take care of yourself. I don't want to see you here. It's like, you got it, Flash.
Yeah. Dev?
Do you know what the best part about that is? That is the trickster. That is played by Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
We also played him in the live action.
Yeah.
Twice in the original and the remake.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So like I love that because you don't see that sort of superhero-iness, you know? It's very much like there was a comic book I read once about Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man he was a substitute teacher at the time, and he was trying to keep a student safe who kept going out at night. And the student was looking for her brother who was in jail. And her brother who was in jail was put in jail by Spider-Man. So, like, Spider-Man's beginning to see the brother in jail has been released and is, like, working with other people who've been in jail. And Spider-Man begins to see, like, what his actions of putting people in jail do. And he sees, it kind of brings things into perspective where it's like, okay, in the United States, a lot of people are incarcerated for very minor things, and get that label of felon, and they lose the ability to get access to the American dream. But like in that case, it kind of is a foil to, okay, what is a good deed? How do we follow up with it? And how does that idea and notion of the superhero become about restorative justice, restoring people so they can be forgiven and given opportunity? Shit, I just rambled, so I forget where we started.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Superheroes having that reflection like Flash did in the animated series.
Yeah, yes.
Care of the bad guys than just punching them.
Yeah, and it's like that rivalry gets so bad that it, like the Joker's like, oh, I got a crowbar to your favorite sidekick, and it's like, and Batman's tried a million times to rehabilitate him, but you see in the Batman, like, and in every other thing, like, why don't you just spend your millions of dollars on making the community better? Instead of dressing up.
I think that's a weird argument for Batman, because like in all the shows that we see, like Batman is depicted as doing tremendous charity stuff. In the movies, we don't get to see that, but in the shows, that like he's always at a charity ball doing stuff for kids, orphans, or stuff like that. They never do that in the movies. But for the Joker, I would say, I actually made a sketch about this in my YouTube channel. Batman should actually use his money and redo the Gotham's legal system, where like homicidal maniacs, you know what? Let's put them down, because they do that in real life. They do that in real life.
Yeah. Right, guys. So, I think it is time that we should enter the Phantom Zone. So, Tim, it is your week. What would you like to nominate to be sent and banished into the Phantom Zone so that it will never...
Think this through.
Yeah, think this through. What is your nominee? We will hear your case and we will discuss.
Without even thinking about it.
Now what are the criteria?
So so far we said that like Jar Jar Binks was bad. Should it be banished to the Phantom Zone? That the Snyderverse was bad. Should that be something that should have never existed, or that will never bother us again? What is something within the world? It could be a movie, it could be a theme, it could be, an actor.
A trope.
I was glad that I was given criteria, because my first thing was like hemorrhoids should be banned to the Phantom Zone. But this is not that.
Yeah.
I would say using a multiverse as a crutch for storyline explanations.
Yeah.
As a crutch. Like, well, we'll just explain it as a multiverse. No. Do good stories. Don't do multiverse because Ant-Man found the quantum zone, and instead of going up Thanos' butt, they decided to do time travel and like bring all this Infinity Stones from other places. Don't do that. So that's my opinion. Okay,
good. That's a strong candidate. Okay, let us discuss. Now, I will say straight away, Sliders is the greatest television show ever made, and it entirely hinges on the idea of the multiverse, right? So It can be done well, but I think we are in the era where everything is going to multiverse. Like we discussed this, I think, last week and some other times as well, saying about, couldn't they fix Star Wars with the multiverse? And there's the multiverse. This is how they can bring back characters and such like this. So I think the multiverse as a crutch definitely is a big problem, because everything's loving their multiverse right now.
What defines a crutch?
What defines a crutch?
Yes, in this multiverse thing. What is the crutch in the multiverse thing?
Tim, how would you...
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, how did you mean it first?
Well, I saw Dev raise his hand. I'm curious if Dev has any...
Okay, so using the multiverse as a crutch thing, where like multiverse, if it's like a world-ending threat, it's fine. But like, if it's like a small thing, oh, we can just grab Peter Parker from Universe X to solve this little problem because our Peter Parker's on holiday. That would be like a crutch.
I think for me, a crutch is when you're looking to put together creative elements and you need a story behind it to justify it. I want Spider-Man. I want like a threat to the hot dog industry, and I need the Red Hulk. So you know what? Multiverse. Perfect.
Yeah.
We have these elements, and I can just use the multiverse for it. And it's like, I feel like that is the issue, is like you see decision makers, but not storytellers, decide like, oh, this movie needs that and that and that. And then a storyteller's like, well, how are we going to justify this? And the guy's like, well, didn't they do that in Endgame? You know? That's, I guess, how I would define a crutch.
You know what? I've got some thoughts on this, but Dev, go to you first.
Interesting way they did it well, where they used the multiverse as a crutch well, was WandaVision. Where they had to use Quicksilver, but they ended up using X-Men's Quicksilver instead of MCU.
But didn't they justify that wasn't multiverse?
Yeah, it was not Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was the only time it worked when they did it.
But technically, they used their get out of jail free card and said it wasn't multiverse. And it was like, wait, so you've just done a multiverse thing and said, oh no, but we haven't done the multiverse yet. And then 6 months later, we'd got Loki, where they were doing multiverse. Now, Loki is something I'm going to come to with it as well. And I'm going to, guys, we can discuss this because multiverse comes up so much. We can discuss what we think is fair or right within the world, within the multiverse of multiverses. 1 second, Cap. So when you watched Loki, and they're like, here is Kid Loki, here is classic Loki, here is girl Loki, and we got Black Loki, and we got Crocodile Loki, and it's like they can't all be Loki. Like, what happened? Like, I'm going to tell you about Sliders first. The idea of the multiverse, and this ties in to how they explain it in the MCU specifically, is there's the sacred timeline, and basically the movie Sliding Doors isn't a great movie, but the concept of it is amazing. That a person's going to catch a train, and the door shuts and they don't catch it, or they do catch it, and then it goes off in two different tangents. And so if that's been happening since the beginning of time, that we've been going along the timeline and things split off in different directions, what changes along the way so that Loki, that same character, is now a crocodile? That is using multiverse of, oh, we can just do anything. There is no way that could be Loki, who is also a crocodile. There is no point in history. Now, you could say, oh, people evolved out of lizards, and so now they're a lizard evolution people. There is nothing that would actually still make that Loki. That, to me, is abusing the idea of the multiverse. Go on, Kat.
Okay, so there's a great video by Imaginary Access kind of explains how Marvel Multiverse works in DC. In the Marvel Multiverse, before even the Loki show started, right? What you just described, David, is how their multiverse idea works. If they're like, if I got up today, I pick up this mug, and there's another universe where I didn't pick up this mug. Every decision that I didn't make. So whenever it gets to a decision, the universe gets branched off. So did a crocodile, got evolved, decided to evolve, or a gorilla, chimpanzees decided to evolve, or was it a different thing? That's the way that Marvel Multiverse works. The DC Multiverse works is that there are different dimensions, like they world on worlds, where there's like different realms, but there are multiple versions of those same realms vibrating in different frequencies. And the Flash is the one who can actually travel through these versions because he can vibrate himself at different frequencies.
What creates them? What makes them different versions of the same thing?
They're always there. No, they're always there. They're always there. The Earth has like many Earths, but they're all vibrating in different frequencies. They have their own storyline, but they're also, this one's from the TMNT, they all have one origin point, where there's like one Earth.
Prime universe.
And what? Okay, so if they've got one origin point, what splits them off, other than just different choices in time?
They never gave a reason for the reason
Choices.
why they...
It's choices in time. That's the only way to explain how you could have a Superman and another Superman.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But I think
No,
we
like
can...
I said, there are different realms. They go with different realms and stuff. There are always realms with different laws of physics or different way it works. If you go to the Turtle multiverse, the Turtle Prime was the black and white comic one. That's the Prime Turtle universe. And then it gets to the 80s show, where there's always 80s. Nothing, like the world itself is 80s forever. And then you get to 2000 TMNT.
But that's the crutch. That's the crutch. There's no justification to it. There's no logic. It's just, for the sake of it.
You can't give a logic by saying the technology, like, we never, got away from transistors. For some reason, we decided transistors is the best way to go. And
Yeah, okay, but that's still a change in time. That's still branching timelines.
No, they do go time, but the technology and how their world is appeared, or how the laws of physics work, they don't change. So, with the Turtle 80s, they can go to 2030, but their technologies will be an evolved version of the 80s technology. It won't go to smartphones, or it won't change the theme. The theme will always be the 80s. The trope of it. That's what the DC universe is, how it's done. Now, this is the description, by the way. What I'm talking about is, whatever you're doing, world building is very important. Okay? World building is that whatever story that you're trying to put, you need to do world building better. But the thing is, everyone does not do it very well, and we sometimes